Hey, welcome to Chat with KST. I'm your girl Kay, and today we're going to be discussing Alec Baldwin. All right, so you guys remember the case that he was a part of where he accidentally shot that woman on set? Well, he's recently been indicted on manslaughter charges. So, according to the Shade Room, grand jury indicts Alec Baldwin on involuntary manslaughter charge for the 2021 fatal shooting of Helena Hutchinson. And hopefully, I am saying Helena's name correctly. So, basically, initially, when this had occurred, when they were on set and the gun had went off, we were all like, what the hell? How can this happen on a movie set? On a movie set, we realized that there are supposed to be crops, right? And this should never happen. I've never personally seen this in movie history. So I do felt like my personal opinion was that there was someone else to be blamed. Whoever put the gun, checked the pops and props into all of this should have been the person who was blamed. Because if you put a loaded gun in my hand and you tell me that, hey, it's just a prop and these bullets or whatever, however they do it in Hollywood, and I trusted your judgment call and I did what I've been trained to do and have been doing for all these years, because again, he's been acting for so many years, then I don't think he should have been blamed for it. That was just my personal opinion. So when the case was originally dismissed, I didn't like kind of jump into why it was dismissed and things like that sort. I just knew it was dismissed and the case was closed, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what, case closed. He's moving on with his life. Hopefully the family can move on with theirs. However, the case was recently brought back in October, I think, of 2023, when they said, hey, Alec Baldwin, you said you didn't pull the trigger, but forensics, FBI, everyone is saying you did pull that trigger. So now we do have new evidence that you did pull the trigger and we want to present that in court. So now we're going to bring the case back up. And they did bring the case back up. I think it is in New Mexico, where they recently indicted him on involuntary manslaughter. So like, I'm not someone who can break down the legal jargon of what everything is, but it is involuntary manslaughter. So it's like you involuntarily killed someone is what I'm taking it to be. And imagine that coming from a criminal justice girly. But look, I remember what I remember. I forget what I forget. But um, anyway, I said all of that to say that this does suck for Alec Baldwin, being that he being that the situation he was presented with, like that I mentioned before, like there are so many other people who should have been held responsible, who have now taken plea deals in this case. And I feel like him taking the fall for this isn't something that's right. And I probably do need to read more into the documents to see what was the evidence that was presented that made them feel like he was in some way, shape, or form responsible for this. But I feel like he's not. If someone, when you look into the structure of it, whether he pulled the trigger or not, like we'd have to look into what is a typical day in Hollywood. Do you normally pull the trigger when you are doing a gun show? And I don't know, watch it, being a movie watcher, it does seem like they do pull the trigger and the gun goes off and boom, and they make it seem so real, right? And being a regular civilian and watching these movie sets and stuff like that, I feel like it being played out as if it was real. How can Alec Baldwin play the role that he's supposed to be playing when he's supposed to be in character, and then now comes to find out that he's not in character, but he was really given a loaded weapon? And I feel like whoever gave him the loaded weapon, which I think in this case was the producer, should be held responsible. Whoever did the gun check, whoever brought that gun in, should be held responsible, and not Alec Baldwin, because again, he was just in character. But I want to hear your thoughts. So if you're watching this on YouTube, laters.